Everyone, Sirturmund here again, and today we're gonna give you the third gameplay video of Kinemon. I was away for work for the past 12 days, so I'm sorry for the lack of videos. Now we're back with every day at One Piece video. So this is the deck list that we're playing for Kinemon, and today we're going up against Red Zoro, which is one of our favorable matchup and the reason why Kinemon is so popular. So hope you enjoyed the game, and if you do, make sure to like the video below and subscribe to us. We post One Piece videos every single day. Enjoy. In this matchup, we're going up against Zoro. And what you want to do against Zoro is that you always want to go second, right? Because that way you get the Okiku. We don't get the Okiku, so I'm going to mulligan, try to get her. And we get her. There we go. So now we're able to actually play Okiku on turn 1, which is usually the way that you're able to beat the Zoro decks. Because the Okiku is going to be able to rest their characters and just get a lot of value from there, allow you to kill it. Opponent plays a Makino just straight up like that. I think that's a mistake. We're just going to go ahead and play the Okiku. This is telling me that they either have a second Makino or they have like a Magra that they're trying to use. I'm just going to play Okiku. That's going to be our play here. I guess they could technically just rest this and trigger, but like you have no other one-cost card to buff up. So it doesn't make sense to play this Makino like this, straight up. Unless you have like a Magra and you're trying to put this up to 3k with the Magra to try to hit our face, you know, but you'll need like Magra plus Dawn and Zoro and Dawn and Makino, and that will be a 5k and a 6k attack. We also have the Oden, by the way, right? So we're gonna be able to get the Oden on as long as as long as we have at least one Dawn open. Now, how do we do this? I don't think the Makino is that much of a threat because she does have Zero. It requires a lot of investment for the opponent. I think it's the card that we're going to rest with the Okiku is always going to be this Nami, right? So we're going to rest the Nami. Opponent got the Nami from the Curly the Dance. So let's see what they're picking up here with the Nami, just so that we keep track of that, right? So we're able to see it right here in the chat. They're going to go ahead and go face. There's no reason for me to counter this, right? So we're just going to take it. We get Yamato as well. Wow. Wow. This is actually such a nutty hand. Because what's going to happen here is that we can go and do this, right? We can play Yamato, resting their Nami. Right? We can put one down on the Okiku, attack the Nami, and rest the Curly Dadan. I probably should have done it the other way. Should have rested the Curly Dadan, but it's fine. And then we're going to go with Kinemon and kill the Curly Dadan. Opponent can technically save her if they want to. But it's still a 2-card commitment for them to save her. The best way that we should have done it should have probably been to rest the Curly Dadan, because this would have been a 6k. But again, I don't think it's going to matter. The opponent tried to save that Curly Dadan. I think they would have been worse off anyways. We have enough 2k counters that I'm okay saving the Okiku. The opponent only really has one good attacker, which is Zoro. And we still have Yamato here. Like, I could have asked for a better hand. I'm just gonna say, this matchup is really favorable to us. When I get a hand like this, it makes it really, really hard for the opponent to really do much. Like, this hand was actually kind of nuts. And then we even have Oden in our hand that's just gonna be waiting. Wow. Wow. This is actually crazy. We could save the 2 Dawn to have the Punk Gibson active on our next tag. We're gonna have, okay, so let's plan our next turn, I guess, while we wait for the opponent. So we're gonna have also I said I was gonna check what Nami picked up. I never saw what she picked up, by the way. What did she pick up? They picked up, oh, they didn't pick up anything. They didn't pick up anything with the Nami, so they actually whiffed with the Nami. So that's good to know. But anyways, next turn we could play Izou. We could play Izou out, right? That way we rest something. That would be 3 Dawn. Yeah, the opponent goes for it. Do we even bother saving Okiku? It's gonna just put so much pressure on the opponent if we do, right? But I also feel like I'm kind of losing up in card value. I think at this point we don't need the Okiku. It just stops him from developing, and that's so good. But I also don't want to lose my Bonney. I think I save her. I think I save her. It's stopping the opponent from developing, and if I can slow them down, I just win this game, right? If I can slow them down and just win this game, it sucks losing the Bonney. I was hoping that it would only attack with 6. Okay, so there we go. So, are you gonna try to kill this Okiku by giving this the 3k? Both of them are gonna be rested, so we can still clear their board next turn with the Yamato and the Oden. Wow. Wow. I did not expect that. If they just attack with 6, do I protect her? Do I protect? Oh, wait, no, it's 7 because the opponent had the down. Okay, so I can't protect her anyway, so I guess we let it go. That's triple Machino. Opponent has like no counters. I have 2 options. I can clear their board, which I think is the best option, right? So I need to just clear their board. It sucks that we won't be able to really get a lot of value here. Because, I mean, I guess I can develop this Izou. I could develop the Izou for 2. But I'm not really getting anything out of it. I could just have this. I'm going to clear the board. I can play 2 Dawn. Have the Punk Gibson available. So I guess 1 down for Capage, 2 for the Punk Gibson. I could pay 2 down here. Maybe it's actually better for me to actually do have this attacker, but then it means that we won't be able to play the Oden for 7, but we have 8 mana, so we can just play the Oden outright. So yeah, so I think I am gonna just save it. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and attack. If I can clear their board, I think they're gonna be in a bad spot, right? I think we can start hitting face later. I am giving them a lot of value. Yeah, we're just gonna not select anything here. We're gonna play Capone, and we still have double for Punk Gibson, and we finish the turn. So we can protect the Yamato with the Punk Gibson or the Capone. I do need to start putting pressure on them, and the fact that the opponent has spent so many 2k counters just like this means that we can potentially put a lot of pressure for our Oden to quickly finish the game. I just want to make sure that we're keeping their board clear before we actually start going face and giving them more resources in their hand. So the opponent goes for the Bista, kills the Capone. The Punk Gibson, right, allows me to rest one of their units, which will allow me to just kill it next turn. We're probably going to just rest that Bista, is what I'm guessing. Yeah, I think we just rest the Bista. That way we can kill the Bista. We can play the Oden. I think I always want to play the Oden, right? I always want to play the Oden no matter what. I am in a weird position too, though. So I'm also in a weird position. Okay, so do we just rest the Machino? The opponent could have the rush Zoro. If we rest the Machino, because right now it's at 1k, opponent will have to be forced to have the Magra. I think I'm down to just rest the Bista, and I'm down to put the 2k counter to the Zoro. Or we can just put the Izou now, but I think I like the Izou better. So we're just gonna go like this. Rest the Bista. If the opponent attacks with the Machino, they have to commit Magra. Okay, so they're gonna just kill my Izou. Alright. Okay. I think it always has to be Oden. I think it always has to be Oden no matter what. Right? So it always has to be the Oden. And we can put it down with 7, which is not bad. I guess we can start going face. I guess we can start going face, right? Because, I mean, maybe we don't actually attack with the Yamato. Maybe that's the thought. Maybe we just leave the Yamato standing up. Maybe we attack with the Oden, with the Kinemon first. Do we attack with the Yamato? I need to start putting damage to them. If I attack with the Yamato, opponent can swing the Yamato back, but then we start having the Oden available. Opponent probably wants to do Whitebeard next turn, right? So for the opponent to kill this Yamato, they cannot play Whitebeard. So I think this is fine, because if the opponent kills Yamato, that means that they don't have the Whitebeard. So because if they try to go Whitebeard and then attack here, we do have 2k counters to save the Yamato. Let's start going face. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, we have such a good hand, but the problem is, again, because we lost that Bonney trying to save that Okiku, which is actually surprising that, yeah, like, because we, yeah, that's a white beer. So, do we actually save this Yamato? I think we have to, right? I think we have to save the Yamato. We save the Yamato here. And we wait for her so we can get like a really big attack on the next attack. We have a blocker, but the blocker just gets killed by the white beer anyways. We need to make sure that the Oden stays alive. Jet Pistol can kill the Yamato if we go live. If we go to the live though, right? Jet Pistol can still kill her. So we need to have 3 down to restand the Oden. So we can push 1 damage with Oden. We can go 3 down here. We can go 8, 9. 9, have 2 down. Like, putting this doesn't matter. I want to put 1 down on the Yamato. I don't want this Yamato to die. So I'm gonna go ahead and play around that. There's another option. Another option is that I can just attack with the Yamato. She's at 7. We can go to 9. We could attack with the Yamato. We can go to 9. Put 4 to go to 9 and attack with 8 here. Opponent has used a lot of 2k counters, but they could still have more 2k counters. If I go 8, restand, 9, 9. Or do we save the Yamato to attack? But the opponent can have the Gordon and kill the Yamato anyways with the new gate. So I think now is the time for us to attack with the Yamato. So let's go like that. Let's go 8, 9, and 9, I guess, right? So let's go 8 here. Take out the 2k counter if the opponent has it. Okay, this is 7, this is 9. 9 here. I'm giving them a lot of cards. I'm giving them a lot of cards. Oops. 2, 3, 4. I almost did 1 too many. I almost did 1 too many, so 9 here again. If opponent goes down to 1 life, I think my Oden can actually just kill them next turn. The problem is if the opponent actually has a way to kill this Oden, right? So if the opponent has... But even if they kill the Oden, I get at least another unit back, right? From Oden dying. Because the opponent could technically kill the Oden if they go... They have to go -4, -3 twice, right? I guess they could also have the Jet Pistol. So if they have a... If they have a Gordon or the other Wanderer that reduces my power, they could go Otama, right? They could go Otama Jet Pistol to kill this Oden. I might have let them just get too much, like give them too much. I might have given them too much time, right? I might have given them too much time. So here we're just gonna restand the Oden, right? That way, at least the opponent is forced to have the Otama Jet Pistol or the Gordon Otama White Beer, right? So that's the plan here. We have to force them, right? So they have to have Otama Jet Pistol or Gordon Jet Pistol. So they need to have 2 cards specifically, or they need to have double Gordon to be able to actually get this below 3k to kill it with the White Beer. I'm not scared of dying here. I guess if they have the Rush Zoro. If they try to go all in for lethal. So let's say that they try to go all in for lethal. We have 3k counter in hand plus whatever else we're going to get from our life. That I don't think I'm in a position where I'm dying. Let's think about that. So if they put 1 down on the Zoro, and let's say they have at least 2 Rush Zoros. That's 3 attack. That's 4 attacks. And then they need to still have done for Vista. I guess they could have a Magra or the 4th Machino to buff up that Machino. So at most they could have 2, 4, 5, 6 attacks. We have 4 life. And we have enough counter to at least counter one of those out. Because if it's just the Rush Zoro, they're only going to be at 6k unless the opponent want to commit down to them. They only have 10 down. So they can go Rush Zoro, put a down on Zoro. White Beer, yeah, you put the first down on the Zoro. Rush Zoro. That's 3 attacks together with your leader. Your YB is 4. That leaves you with 3 Dawn. You can put 2 Dawn here or just 1 Dawn. And that goes to 5, but we can actually block that 5 very easily. You can put 2 of the Makino and then have like a 4th Makino or a Magra. And that gives you the next attack. I don't think that's enough. And definitely, it's better off, even if you have 3 Rush Zoro, it's better off to go attack here, than try to go 3 Rush Zoros. So I don't think I'm in a threat of dying here. Now, we know that the opponent has committed a lot of 2k counters. So I think if we just put all the Dawn on the Oden and attack twice next turn, that should be enough. Because even if the opponent is able to survive, we still have a 6k and a 5k if the opponent doesn't actually kill the Yamato. If they play Whitebeard here, I still think I'm okay. I mean, they do have the 7k, but I really saw a lot of 2ks. Yeah, there you go. So they go Tama on the Oden. So, okay, so their play here has to be to kill this Oden. Now, they could have the Jet Pistol here. Yep, and there you go. That's the Jet Pistol. I guess we have to go Okiku, right? So we go Okiku. That still gives me 2 attackers for next turn. Opponent will have to have a Gordon or a second Otama to get this Okiku to die with the new game. So the Oden died, which is fine. Opponent's still at 1 life though. And I'm still thinking that I can survive next turn. I guess maybe not. If I don't win this next turn, I think opponent can just kill us on their next attack. Right? Because again, if they have the Rush Zoros, it's really easy for them to go through all my defenses. And the blockers don't do anything because the opponent has the new game. So I think I have to go for lethal. I have to find a way to go for lethal next turn. This Yamato never survives against the Whitebeard because obviously I don't have enough counter. So it doesn't make sense to try to save her if the opponent tries to go for it. So they got the Jet Pistol plus Otama. And I think it was fine forcing that out of them by restanding the Oden last turn. Because that's another 2k counter. We're seeing 3 Makinos and we're seeing 1 Otama. So that's another 2k counter that the opponent just used, making it less and less likely to have another 2k counter here. So they're just gonna attack. I'm think. She's never gonna live. I think I have to just let her go, right? I think I just let her go. So there's one thing that I can do here. I can go 1k. I can force the attacks. I can force the attack and keep myself with as much life as possible. Because I'm scared. I'm scared. Opponent has 2 Dawn. I'm scared that they have like a Gordon or an Otama to kill this Okiku. But I guess if they do, they have it anyways. I want to force this Whitebeard attack on the Yamato. But if they have the Gordon or the Otama, they can always do it anyways, right? So I guess we just take this. Because if they have a Gordon or a second Otama, they can always just attack face with the Whitebeard and kill the Okiku no matter what. Okay. That's not a Gordon or Otama. Now, I'm facing down 6 attacks next turn, plus whatever Rush the opponent has. They drew an Nami. So they have a 1k counter at least. Can we get lethal next turn? That's the question. Can we get lethal next turn? Opponent has no Dawn active, so I don't have to worry about Radical Beam. I don't have to worry about Radical Beam. We have double 2k counters. Because we can't survive, I don't think, right? There's no way we survive. Maybe with the Punk Gibson, now we do. Can we survive next turn? That's 1, 2. The Makino can buff the Otama. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 attackers. We have 3 lives. I have to just go for lethal. Opponent has 1k counter. We have 2 5ks. Let's say that they have at least 2 2ks. But again, the 2ks are very unlikely because they have this. So the best play is for me to go 9 and 11. So 9 and then 11. But that's so easily counterable, right? Opponent has 1k, 2k. Yeah. I have to just go 9 and then 11. So the reason that we want to go 9 and then 11 is because we attack for 9 here. 9 is going to force at least 3 cards out of the 5 that they have. We know one of them is a 1k counter. So we're forcing at least 3 cards out. It has to be like double 2k and a 1k. Or it has to be 1 2k and 3 1ks. And that means that they don't have the Rush Zoros. So I think I like it. I think I like the 9. It has to be 9 and 11, right? So you want to go for those magic numbers where you're 2k higher. And the reason we go 9 and 11 is because if the opponent drops another 2k here, we have the 11 attack to attack with. So I think we go 9 here. It doesn't really matter which one we chose. It's whatever. If this doesn't go through, then we'll keep the Punk Gibson. Right? If the opponent blocks this 9k, we'll only attack for 9 and keep the Punk Gibson. My hope is that he has a lot of Rush Zoros in his hand. We know they have a Nami, which is 1k. We have seen 4 2k counters. Wow. If I'm the opponent, if I do have the way to counter out of the 11 attack with the Kinemon, then you just have to wait for me to attack with 11 and tap out of the Punk Gibson. So, okay. Alright? Okay. So, they ended up with this, right? So, we have the Punk Gibson, which protects one of the attacks, right? It's going to prevent one of the attack and also give me the 4k. So, we have attack with Whitebeard, attack with Newgate. Opponent just committed. If this is a Rush Zoro, it's still a problem. I'm trying to debate if I need to go face or if I need to kill one of their units. So, Whitebeard's 1 attack. Otama is a 2nd attack. Curly is 3. This is 4. We can go Punk Gibson plus the 2k counters. I think we can go face. I don't think the opponent can kill us here with the amount of life that we have. I think we can go face. Even if this is giving them a Rush Zoro, for example. I think that's fine. Because what I want to do is that I want to make sure that next turn on the swing back, I can win the game by keeping them at 0 life right here. I don't think I need to kill their units. I think I'm okay with the Punk Gibson because he's going to rest one of these guys, right? There's no way that the opponent can play around the Punk Gibson. No matter which way the opponent attacks, orders their attacks, the Punk Gibson is always going to be able to rest one of these units. So the opponent needs to have a Rush Zoro. Right? Opponent needs to have a Rush Zoro for me to even be scared. I can easily take 3 damage and I have 4k in my hand plus whatever I get from here. The misplay last turn actually is that instead of a 9k, I should have only attacked with 7k. Because the opponent only had 1 card in their hand. So we know that the 7k was going to hit life anyways. That would have left me with 2 more extra done. So that I have 4 done. In case that I get another Punk Gibson from life. I did play 2 Punk Gibson already. I can't remember exactly how many Punk Gibson I have in this deck. I can actually check that real quick. If I have more than 2 Punk Gibsons, then yeah, it was a misplay to attack with more. Okay, there's the Gordon. Okay, I only played 2 Punk Gibsons, so I know that I guess it could still be a Paradise Waterfall, right? So it was a misplay to attack with for 9. Opponent messed up here, in my opinion. They ended up replacing the Otama just to put a Gordon down to give it the Okiku. But I don't care about this. I don't care about this Okiku because you have no life. I can rest your blocker if you have a 20/20 sharper blocker, and I can just attack for life. If the opponent wanted to replace his Otama, they needed to first buff it up with the Makino and attack with the Otama first. So I think we're fine. Opponent just showed us that it was just a Gordon in their hand. I think it should be okay. They really showed us the Nami. They get to kill this Okiku. Doesn't matter. This is going to be 12. For whatever reason, they really want to kill this Okiku, which again, killing Okiku does not matter. You're dying next turn to my attack. So I think this is the misplay that a lot of players make. Like, just think about what's going to happen next turn, right? If the opponent can kill you next turn, then don't worry about killing their character. That's what I just did this turn, right? I attacked into their leader knowing that I wanted to set up the lethal for my next attack turn, not even caring about whatever characters the opponent had in their board, because I know that between the counters and the Punk Gibson, I can survive the amount of the attacks that the opponent has. if they had double rush Zoro, I guess I would have died, right? So if the opponent had like double rush Zoro while still keeping the Bista, Curly the Dan, the Otama, the Whitebeard, and the Zoro, I do probably die. But I think I have to just go for it because I don't think obviously my Okiku was always gonna die. So if I don't get this life last turn, I'm never winning the game, and I'm definitely not surviving 2 attacks. So I just have to go for it. I hope that I can survive this turn, which I feel pretty confident that I can. Yeah, the misplay last turn was definitely attaching 4. Opponent had no Dawn and only had 1 card. If I attach 2 Dawn, the attack goes through against everything, right? We get another 2k counter, so I'm definitely not dying. I'm definitely not dying. Yeah, like I could have had a Paradise Waterfall, right, from the life, which would have been the reason for me to keep the extra counter, the extra Dawn in the field. Attaching the 4 Dawn was a mistake. But aside from that misplay, I think we played this as best as we could. Just slowly getting rid of the opponent's board so that they don't put any pressure on us. And once we had the Oden on the field, forcing that Jet Pistol out the way that we did with the Otama. Okay, so at one point I need to start blocking. But I want to have the opponent think that I have nothing in my life. That I have nothing way to stop this before I start blocking, right? So the opponent attaches the Dawn to the Zoro. This is a 6k attack. If it's just a 6k attack, I might just block it with the 2k because that's the most efficient use of my 2k counter. If the opponent goes to 7, I think I take it. If it's 2k, if it's 6k, I will block. I will counter with the 2k just so that we have an efficiency on the down on the counter. I'm still able to just counter everything else, right, that the opponent has. I mean, at some point I just use this Punk Gibson. So whenever the opponent decides to attack with one of these 2 characters, I have to use the Punk Gibson to rest the other one, which is exactly what we need to just completely stall out their attack. This is a fun game though. It's a super favorable matchup for us, right? It's the reason why Zoro is kept in check, because Kinemon can beat it. And we also had a pretty crazy hand, right? So yeah, here opponent goes for the 7k, we'll take it. We only use the Punk Gibson once the opponent attacks with one of these characters, because no matter which one they attack with, we can rest the other one, right? So we can go ahead and go for the Punk Gibson now. And that will show the opponent that they can't get lethal. Even if they have a Rush Zoro, it doesn't matter, because the Makino cannot get to a point that can kill us. We're actually not even going to take that much life. The Punk Gibson was just so good. He's so good at keeping us alive. If I didn't have that Punk Gibson last turn from the top deck, I would have been a lot more scared that we would have just been able to die this turn, right? Especially once the opponent counter out. I think opponent's misplay, like I said, was not... Like, if the opponent had enough counters, maybe they didn't. Maybe they didn't have enough counters to counter out of the 11k. Maybe their last card in their hand didn't make them feel confident that they could counter out of the 11 if they took the 9k. That's the only reason why it makes sense. Yeah, we just go here, and that's it. You lose an attacker. I want to get this one down because this one can bring it to 5k with just a single counter because of the Zoro buff. In order for them to get the Makino to 5k, they need to commit a Magra, and that's only getting her to 4k. So they need to commit a Magra plus another Dawn, which taps them out of the Zoro. So yeah, resting one of these 2 was always the play. Just because it takes more commitment for them to get the Makino to a good spot. Even if the opponent has a 2020 Shopper, we do have the Izou to be able to rest any blockers that the opponent has. And this should get us there. We just rest it and then attach everything to the Kinemon. Even if the opponent has double Radical Beam, that's only... I guess double Radical Beam is 13. We'll be exactly at 13, right? Because we can play this for 2. If the opponent has a Shopper, that means they only have 1 Radical Beam. So yeah, they could have a Shopper here. And there's the Rush Zoro that we were talking about. We can easily take this because there's no way for this to get... I mean, we have the blockers anyways, but it's always fun to get to 0 life. So I'm going to take this attack and kind of just go from there. This matchup is always fun. This matchup is always fun, of course. Do I show him the 2k counters? Do we go? No, I want to see what was left of my life. Okay, so we ended up not having a Paradise Waterfall in my life, so our misplay last turn ended up not mattering anyways. So here we just put every Dawn. GG's. Yeah, we just have to put every Dawn into our Kinemon and we're fine. Yeah, opponent doesn't even let us do it, but GG's. Hey everyone, welcome back. A little bit of a long game today. Usually, I mean, compared to how our hand started, I was surprised that game lasted like 30 minutes, but I do feel like One Piece tends to be a little bit slower game sometimes. And yeah, I'm too lazy to go and edit any slow parts. Instead, I just kind of try to talk over it and kind of tell you my thought process and how I approach the matchup. We ended up getting a pretty crazy start, which put the Zoro player at the back foot right away, especially because they ended up getting a bunch of Makinos early on instead of getting their Sunnies or anything else, any other one drop that really would have threatened us. So they ended up using a lot of the 2K counters early on, which allowed us to go more aggressive later on. Still was a lot closer than I expected, especially considering our hand, but that's the power of white beer and us not being able to actually have any blockers in the field. So yeah, pretty crazy matchup, but was a lot of fun. So that was very fun to play. Hope you learned a thing or two with this deck, with this matchup today. Tomorrow we're gonna move on. This was our third Kingdom video, or our last 3 videos. So we usually do 3 of one deck before we move to the next one. I want to try out some Ivankov. So tomorrow we're gonna come back with some blue before we go back to some more meta decks like Whitebeard, Zoro, Kinemon, etc. So I hope to see you all here again tomorrow. Make sure to like the video below, subscribe to us. We post One Piece videos every single day, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Enjoy your day.